These steel eagles that once reigned supreme in the sea and sky and accompanied the Liaoning and Shandong ships to cut through the waves are facing the fate of being replaced by the more up-to-date J15T and J15D after only 12 years of service, more than 50 J-15 basic fighters, and where will their future trajectory extend to? When the CCTV camera constantly captures the images of J15T, D on the flight decks of Liaoning and Shandong ships, the proportion of J15T, D has increased significantly and the figure of basic type has been gradually thinned out. This strategic proposition concerning the efficient utilization of huge national defense assets has been urgently placed in front of us. To solve this riddle, we need to retrace the J15 family's magnificent growth path. Time to dial back to 2006, when the varying renewal of the steel body on the platform is gradually taking shape, and it's supporting the development of carrier aircraft, cannot be delayed. In the era of technical reserves and experience is still weak, the exploration road of domestic carrier aircraft is full of challenges. The birth of J15 is deeply imprinted with the mark of that particular period. It boldly draws on the key aerodynamic layout and structural design of the Su-33 prototype T-10K3, and at the same time, it successfully transplants the advanced radar and integrated avionics system of the then-mature J-11B. 2009, the first flight of J-15 was successful. In 2012, it was almost synchronized with the Liaoning ship for finalization and service, which created the amazing China's speed. This type of fighter in a very short period of time, to fill the blank of China's carrier-based fighters, to support the Navy's initial ability to project the power of the sea, its historical merit is indisputable. However, there is a price behind the speed. As an emergency option, the J-15 basic model is basically at the same level as the J-11B finalized in 2007 in terms of comprehensive performance, which is a typical mid-level fourth-generation fighter. Its pulse Doppler radar has limited detection range and multi-targeting capability. The fuselage structure is sturdy, but the use of a large number of traditional metal materials has led to redundancy in weight, and the maintenance complexity of the early Russian-made L-31F series engine in the sea with high salinity and high humidity is higher than that of the later localized and improved models. Although its combat capability is significantly better than the Russian old Su-33 and the Indian Navy's MiG-29K, compared with the US Navy's Super Hornet, F-18E, F, the French Navy's Rafale, F-3 and other advanced Western carrier aircraft, especially that there is still a clearly recognizable generation gap in terms of avionics, multi-mission capability and service life. More critically, some details borrowed from the Su-33 in the early design, such as the inconvenient access to some maintenance port covers, insufficient redundancy in cable layout, and optimization of the adaptability of some of the hydraulic piping to the marine environment, have been proved to be inconvenient for maintenance and structural redundancy in the subsequent high-intensity use of the Su-33. There are maintenance inconvenience, structural redundancy and other practical problems, which directly affects the efficiency of the ship's security and combat aircraft attendance. It was these valuable practical experiences that directly gave birth to the new generation of shipboard aircraft, and in 2024, the latest wisdom of China's aviation industry was gathered in the J-15T and J-15D fighters, which were shockingly unveiled. As a heavy 4.5 generation fighter, J-15T is equipped with the top active phased array radar, which has achieved a qualitative leap in air detection range, multi-target tracking and guided attack capability. The new generation of integrated avionics system integrates high-speed data bus and open architecture, which has reserved a wide space for future weapon upgrades and software-defined functions. The application of a large number of composite materials significantly optimizes the performance of the fuselage, which not only reduces the weight and increases the efficiency, but also improves the structural fatigue life. The reuse of composite materials significantly optimizes the airframe performance, which not only reduces weight and increases efficiency, but also enhances the structural fatigue life, and the re-engineering of the airframe has also enhanced its performance. Its redesigned wing folding mechanism, optimized and upgraded landing gear buffer system, and cockpit human-machine interface all reflect the precise improvement of carrier operation pain points. The J-15D carries the flag of shipboard electronic warfare. Its positioning and combat power is comparable to the US Navy's Growler EO-18G, equipped with high-performance radar jamming pods, electronic reconnaissance systems, and can even carry anti-radiation missiles to carry out the hard-kill mission, and become the invisible shield and shield of the electromagnetic space of the aircraft carrier formation, shield and deadly sharp knife. The addition of these two types of fighters makes the air and sea control, electromagnetic attack and defense capabilities of the Chinese carrier fleet realize a leap forward, marking the formal entry of Chinese naval aviation into a new stage of systematization and informationization, with the CCTV camera constantly capturing the Liaoning and Shandong ships on the flight deck of the J15T. D ratio increased significantly. The figure of the basic type gradually thinned out the picture. A realistic question cannot be avoided. This more than 50 is in its prime. The life of the body is far from exhaustion of the basic type of the J15. From the aircraft carrier combat sequence after the withdrawal of how to continue to play its value. How will it continue to fulfill its value after it is withdrawn from the carrier combat sequence? The airframe structure is still sturdy and reliable. The remaining engine life is sufficient. The avionics system is not top-notch, but the core function is perfect. Direct decommissioning is a huge waste of resources, and also deviates from the PLA's tradition of building up the PLA with thrift and making the best use of things. According to this tradition, the most logical path to maximize benefits is already clear. They will be modernized and upgraded, and then handed over to all the major flight colleges under the Naval Aviation Corps, especially the Naval Aviation University, which is tasked with the advanced training of naval fighter pilots, as well as its related training bases. This transition has far-reaching strategic significance and urgent practical needs. As China's Navy accelerates into the deep blue, Fujian ship into the initial combat force, followed by more advanced nuclear-powered aircraft carriers have been in the blueprint. With the qualification of carrier aircraft landing, proficient in the carrier combat system of high-quality pilots demand geometrically increasing. If the flight academy continues to rely on the Trainer 9, Mountain Eagle, or even older Trainer 8 and other land-based trainers for primary training, there is a huge gap with the eventual need to fly the J-15 heavy carrier aircraft. Let the flight students directly in the real J-15 basic type of intermediate and advanced training can seamlessly connect to the actual needs of the future carrier forces. Of course, the necessary targeted upgrades are indispensable for the transition from first-line combat equipment to an advanced training platform, referring to the mid-term upgrade of the BG standard being carried out by the Air Force's current J-11B. The J-15 basic model can be similarly upgraded, replacing it with a more reliable mission computer with stronger processing capability, upgrading the data chain system to ensure seamless interconnection with the command simulation system and air situation simulation system in the academy, integrating the training of new fighting bombs, mounting and fire control interfaces, and upgrading the training of new carrier-based bombs. It has also integrated the training of new fighting bombs with mounting and fire control interfaces, upgraded the performance of radar warning devices to enhance the realism of battlefield situational awareness training, and improved the cockpit display interface to enhance the man-machine ergonomics. These relatively controllable and short-cycle improvements can significantly enhance its safety, training effectiveness and ability to simulate real-world combat environment as an advanced training platform, ensuring that it will be able to efficiently and reliably fulfill the important task of training top carrier pilots in the next decade or so. The transfer of the J-15 basic model to training is not a waste of talent, but an inevitable choice and wise move of a great Navy during the equipment iteration period. Looking around the world, the U.S. Navy has also transferred a large number of F-18C D Hornets, which are still in good condition, into the training squadron, which is responsible for training the pilots of the next generation Super Hornet and F-35C. This profoundly proves the universal law that a first-class army relies on training. For the Chinese Navy, the value of having a large, stable and standardized advanced trainer fleet consisting of more than 50 heavy carrier aircraft of the same type is much more than simple equipment figures. The turnaround of these 50 J-15 basic types is by no means the end of the voyage, but rather a key footnote in the Chinese Navy's shipboard aviation force's progress from scale accumulation to system refinement and talent generation. They will continue to hold up the dreams of young pilots in another capacity, and silently guard the sharpness of the future sea and sky on the land-based runway. From the deck of the carrier to the cradle of the land to breed eagles, from the front line of the battlefield to the training rostrum of the fire, these 50 eagles of the trajectory of the turn sketched out a large country's navy to the deep blue of the solid footprints, but also to the group of foundational, meritorious veterans, the most honorable and visionary coronation. When the future carrier aircraft elite driving a more advanced fighter riding the ocean, the roots of their skills will always be engraved with these early, flying sharks, steel mark,